Hi church, my name's Chloe and I am a school counsellor / psychologist, predominantly in a busy public high school in Western Sydney. I'm currently on maternity leave but due to return in early October. So being a Christian and a school counsellor / psychologist, what is that like? Well, like many jobs which involve helping people, I find my job to be very tangibly satisfying. I often feel like I am contributing to the improvement in my students' well-being, so I can take some pride in that. And as a result, it can be really easy to idolize my work and find my identity in my job rather than in Jesus. So that's something that I really need to make sure that I'm keeping in check. Another challenge of being a psychologist, especially in the public school setting rather than in Christian schools, is this idea of being a blank slate. What I mean by that is not projecting anything back onto my students that I counsel about my own values, my views and my faith. This has been a real challenge for me as I consider how I can be a Christian and also be a good school counsellor. And in my role, it would not be appropriate for me to offer to pray for my students or openly share my faith unless it's specifically asked. So there's a real challenge in showing that I'm a Christian in the way that I respond to them and love them and treat them. And I hope that I do this as best I can. Something I would like to be more conscious of doing as I go back to work is praying more for my students, as I really think this will help point me back to relying on God and not on my own strength and my own skills. Despite not being able to openly share the gospel with my students, I am able to profess my faith openly to my colleagues and have tried to ensure that people I work closely with are aware that I am a Christian. This gives me a lot of really great opportunities to speak with love, grace, and integrity about students and staff, especially when it comes to issues that have historically not been dealt with very well by the church. That is issues like gender and sexuality. My hope and prayer in doing this is that some minds will be changed in terms of how Christians respond to all people as image bearers of God. So some advice. My advice for Christians in similar roles would be to make it apparent as soon as you can that you are a Christian. But then remember, once people are aware of this, you are often held to a higher standard and so need to be above reproach. Also responding sensitively and lovingly to all people, staff, students, parents, especially when you're in difficult situations and regardless of the complicated issues that they are facing, can make a genuine difference in their life. This is especially if others around them are not responding well, and how great to be able to be that loving voice in their life and show God's love to them in that way. I really love my job and feel very thankful to do something that I really love. It is also such a privilege to show God's love to many young people, particularly when they are often in a very difficult season of life when they come to see me. So those are my thoughts. Hope it's helpful and see you around.